Alright, I'm recording this at 10:19 at night, so if I'm not loud or lack inflection in my voice, that's why. There are people in my house trying to sleep, and this is the only time I get to record. Anyway, hey YouTube, happy Pride Month.
Rejoice and love yourself today, cause baby, you were born this way.
Assuming I get this done, recorded, edited, whatever, before the end of the month, I have 2 LGBTQ manga that I would like to recommend. I originally wanted to make a video for each of the books separately, but didn't feel confident in my ability to make enough content to really warrant them each having their own video. So instead, I'm going to talk a little bit about both of them in one. So today I'm going to talk about She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat, and I Think Our Son is Gay. 2 mangas that I've really come to enjoy in the past couple of months. I don't read a lot of manga, but every once in a while something catches my eye, and I'm happy to say that about both of these. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm talking about She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. Originally a webcomic, She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat was created by Sakaomi Uzaki. The story follows Namoto, a young woman living on her own who loves to cook as a way to de-stress from her job and life. She wants to achieve lofty goals for recipes and portions, way more than she could typically eat on her own as a single young woman. Kasuga is Namoto's neighbor. She also lives alone and has an equal but different passion for food. When the two bump into each other, Namoto eventually works up the courage to invite Kasuga over, and the two begin a friendship revolving around food. The volumes follow their story as they grow closer, cook, and gain new friendships. There are 4 English volumes out so far, and I've really enjoyed each of them. I'm a sucker for fluffy, cheesy romance, especially when it's packaged into such a cozy setting. The girls have a very healthy dynamic, set boundaries and expectations, and are honest and upfront with each other almost all the time. They each have their own lives, obviously, prior to meeting each other, and there's a certain level of respect and transparency that they have for one another as they grow closer. This is a romance, but it is a heck of a slow burn. It takes Nomoto a while to even realize her feelings for Kasuga and have the introspection she needs to recognize herself as a lesbian.
I thought you were American.
After becoming friends with an ace lesbian named Kaname online, Nomoto is able to become more comfortable with how she recognizes herself and also the relationship she has or wants to have with Kasuga. Sarah Moon here on YouTube has a fantastic video talking about ace representation within She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat, and I'm gonna link to her video. She explains it a lot better than I ever could, and I think it's a really important thing to think about, or at least keep in the back of your mind when you're reading the manga. I adore that this comic follows characters on the ace spectrum, and I can't express how much I really do enjoy this series. The art in it is also really nice, with the food looking particularly delicious. I'm a big fan of food myself, including Japanese food, but they display a variety of foods from other cultures, and overall it just looks really good. To me, I don't know, I love to eat. The characters also each are designed in unique ways that tell you a little bit about them at a glance. They all have their own styles, silhouettes, and ways that they carry themselves that make them easy to recognize and easy to remember. This series can get sad, serious, and dark, particularly when concerning the personal lives of the girls, their expectations in society, and how their gender, sexuality, and independence affects their place within society as like a greater concept.
Hello? Hello?
A lady? Unexpected bonus!
Well, one isn't purely defined by their sex or gender. I have yet to find out who I really am. I have freedom, no longer bound by the limits of my court. Freedom to shape my reality and in turn be shaped by it.
You see Nomoto, for example, thinking a lot about people's perceptions of her as a young woman, how her love to cook plays into stereotypes about women, and how that affects her both emotionally and in her sense of independence and like self-worth. Even when there is a sadness and a negativity that leans over the plot, it's always something familiar, something human that I think the author really has a knack for writing. The English translation for Volume 4 came out in May this year, and I'm excited to see what happens next whenever Volume 5 is released. Also, there is a live-action show for She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. I haven't seen it or even seen it available to stream anywhere, so if you know somewhere that I can legally watch this, please tell me. I'm scared of getting a virus on my computer, so wouldn't even dream of downloading anything, but I also would like to watch it legally just to support the show. But yeah, I am pretty desperate to watch this, so Let me know anywhere that you know that has it legally. Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to say that anyway, but still. One last note, just as an aside, if you do end up checking out She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat, and you also have a webtoon, you might as well also look at To the Stars and Back. It's a similarly fluffy comic following the lives of two college-age men as they fall in love. It's created by Peglo on webtoon. The episodes are kept pretty short and sweet, with much of it having a focus on slice of life or romantic segments. It's definitely not about food, but I think it has a similar vibe in terms of tone, communication, and the meat cuteness of it.
Wait, what was I talking about?
I have no idea.
Okay, sorry for the aside. Moving on to the next manga. I am talking about I Think Our Son Is Gay, a comic by Akira. First released in English in May of 2021, it follows Tomoko Ayama as she gains suspicion that her eldest son, Hiroki, could be gay. And the story follows her as she tries to better understand her son and encourage him to be himself. Tomoko doesn't want to out her son, but wants him to feel comfortable to come out whenever he's ready. Other characters to note are Yuri, Hiroki's younger brother, who also seems aware of his brother's sexuality, Daigo, a classmate of Hiroki that he seems to have a crush on, and Asumi, a childhood friend of the family who seems to have a crush on Hiroki and is completely unaware of his disinterest. We also see Hiroki and Yuri's father, who travels often for work, so appears only periodically in the boys' lives. He's pretty old-fashioned and has negative or closed-minded views on the LGBTQ community, so Tomoko really makes an effort to try to convince her husband to be more open-minded. In an interview with Crunchyroll, the creator Akira stated that he wanted to capture the fun, bright side of gay people, not just their hard, dark struggles. Being gay doesn't mean endless days of gloom and doom, and I think this shines in I Think Our Son Is Gay. I'm currently still reading the series. I'm up to volume 3, but I think that all 5 volumes are out in English. I'd like to finish reading it whenever I have time and I'm able to get my hands on the other volumes. Volume 3 also introduced us to the first adult gay character called Mr. Tono, who works with Tomoko. I'm not really sure how integral he is to the remaining volumes, but he has a pretty memorable conversation with her within volume 3. I think this series is very sweet, and it's nice to see the perspective of a parent who's both accepting and trying to better understand their son, while also trying to keep his secret until he's ready. I really like all the characters in this book, with each of them having their own noteworthy personalities, flaws, and values. The art style is also really nice, with a lot of soft shapes and rounded edges. I think the style really fits well with the genre and vibe overall, but also just gives this kind of fun dreaminess that I think works really well for a teen-oriented story. This feels like the kind of slice of life story that really deserves a show or movie, or limited series, whatever. So I can only hope that maybe someday it could get turned into something. There's a warmth to it that's really nice, and a comedic kind of fun vibe. Overall, it's been cool to read LGBTQ stories from outside of America. It's good to gain some perspective on what the rest of the world thinks and feels. I don't have a great understanding of Japanese customs, culture, or political climate, but these stories give me hope that maybe LGBTQ people can continue to have a stronger presence in media around the world, especially when these manga tell such strong interpersonal stories with people at its heart. It's also just nice to have such light, fun stories for young people to read and see themselves in or as a part of. Have you read any of the stories I talked about today? Do you have any recommendations for what I should check out next? Let me know. Manga isn't really something that I'm super familiar with. I watched a lot of anime as a kid, but always leaned more towards comic books when it came to printed media. Still, I'd love to check out more stories. The next video I'm posting, probably, unless I do something else because I'm really bad at making plans, is actually not going to be a Pride video. It's going to be monster and werewolf webtoon recommendations. So realistically, this is my last Pride Month video, but I do have a few other LGBTQ comics, webtoon recommendations and stuff on my channel, so feel free to check those out. Anyway, thanks YouTube.